Guys, it's fall, and fall means what?
Pumpkins.
Pumpkins! Oh, you guys, I just found this great recipe. I found it on Sally's Baking Addiction. Just made a few variations, or a few alterations, but it was really good when I made it. And so, it's pumpkin muffins, and it has a streusel on top and then a little drizzle of frosting. It was so good, wasn't it? Do you remember them? I just made them last week. They were so good, and so we just wanted to share with this recipe with you guys. Go ahead and check Sally's Baking Addiction out too, but we wanted to show it in a video on how to do it. So first, we've already pre-measured everything just to make it a little bit faster. It is more dishes, so I don't always like to do this, but for your sakes today, we did it. So first, in this bowl, we are gonna mix all of the dry ingredients. So Libby, why don't you put all of these in here?
Like pancakes.
Dry ingredients and wet ingredients, huh?
Yeah, but which one do we do first?
Doesn't matter. This is just what we're gonna do first.
So this, I'm just like, I want a spoon.
So this is 1 3/4 cup of flour, 2 teaspoons of cinnamon, 1/2 teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of baking soda, and 1 teaspoon of pumpkin pie spice. We can just stack these up, right? Move them out of our way. This is our dry ingredients. We're just gonna give it a little stir. Just so we don't get like a clump of cinnamon in it. We just wanna give it a little mix.
This is a dry ingredient.
It is a dry ingredient, but we're gonna mix it in with our wet ingredients. So I'm gonna tell you what we have. We have 1/2 cup of granulated sugar, 1/2 cup of packed brown sugar. Isn't that cool?
Looks like ice cream.
It does look like ice cream. Okay, stack it on. We have 1/2 cup of oil. We just have canola oil, which is what I prefer over vegetable oil. We have 2 eggs. We have 1/4 cup of milk, and then 1 1/2 cups of pumpkin. Now that's not quite the full can of pumpkin, of the regular size pumpkin. So we have a little bit left, and I will share another recipe with you that you can use just that little bit of pumpkin, but in another video, so stay tuned. Let's use this and mix it, because you wanna mix those eggs up. Okay, and be careful.
Don't spill.
While she's mixing this, I'm going to get our muffin tins. You can use a liner. I don't love liners all the time because I feel like you waste some because it sticks to the sides. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't, whatever you have. So I'm just spraying these, make sure it gets sprayed all around. You can use shortening to spray them or oil. And it's gonna make 15, so I have 12 here, 12, 13, 14, 15, right? So I just sprayed those 15. How's it coming?
I still see some white stuff at the bottom. Before there was like,
the sugar?
white stuff didn't even move.
I can see some eggy stuff too. So look, if we just mix it fast.
Oh, I'm afraid I was gonna spill.
I know. That's why I do it on a side, because that's how my arm is. It's harder like this. It's more natural like this. Oop, did I get you? Okay. So we have our wet ingredients and our dry ingredients. We're just gonna dump the dry ingredients in.
Like pancakes.
Like pancakes. So the key with muffins, remember, is you don't want to overmix them, because what happens if we overmix? Do you remember? The top of the muffin gets a cone, and we don't want that. We want it nice and round. So what we do, I'll just show you and you can continue, is we just kind of fold it in. We don't want to overmix. There will be some clumps of flour in there maybe, and that's okay because they just kind of disappear after we bake them. You want to keep going? So what I forgot to do is turn the oven on to 425 degrees. Okay, we're gonna mix this just a little bit more because there's a lot of dry.
I was scared it was gonna have a cone.
I know, and you know what? It's okay if it has a cone, but we just try to avoid it. Okay, now we're gonna use this number 16 ice cream scoop. I love these for muffins. So when you do this, make sure you're not scraping all the way because that's still mixing it more. Is you just go on the side here and get try to mix it the least amount as possible by doing that. So then we're gonna plop it in. You guys, and the idea of using this too is it makes it so each muffin kind of has a standard size. They're all the same size if we measure it, and this is a way of measuring it. Okay, here we have 3/4 of a cup of flour, 1/4 cup of granulated sugar, 1/4 cup of brown sugar, 1 teaspoon of pumpkin pie spice, and then we have 3 tablespoons of melted butter. Okay, and this is called a pastry blender, and this helps mix things to make them more crummy. So you hold it like this and you put your thumb on the top, and it just gives you a little bit more strength and control. Just like that. So then with this, you're just gonna wanna get little pinches, and you're just gonna put them on top of each muffin. You do some, I'll do some. Okay, now we're gonna put these in the oven at 425 just for 5 minutes. After that 5 minutes, we're gonna turn it down to 350 degrees and cook it for about 12 minutes, okay? So you can't leave the oven. So now we're making the icing for our muffins. We have 1.5 cups of powdered sugar or confectioner's sugar, and it's kind of fun to play with. It's nice and light. And we have 2 tablespoons of milk. Okay, I'm gonna put that in. And I have some Mapleine, imitation Mapleine flavoring. You can use real maple syrup if you want, and that would be really good. And do about 2 tablespoons of that. Okay, there's our 5-minute timer. We're gonna turn it down to 350 degrees and bake it for about 15 minutes. You wanna keep a really close eye on it. It's gonna be hard because we did cook it for that 425 degrees for that 5 minutes. And so it's gonna look like it's done, but you wanna do the toothpick test by sticking a toothpick in, and if it pulls out and it's clean, then it's ready. If it doesn't come out clean, then you need to cook it just a little bit longer. Okay, so this is gonna make it kind of like a maple glazed donut, and that's kind of what it tastes like, or smells like. Smell. I mean, it smells like our syrup, but just, okay, and it just takes like tiny little drops, and it goes a long way because you don't need a lot of this. Okay, so you want to be able to, what we're gonna do is right when it comes out of the oven while they're still hot, we're just gonna get this and we're gonna drizzle it right over our muffins, and it's gonna go across and it's gonna be so good. Okay, so you want to make it runny enough that it will do that. So that looks perfect. Okay guys, the oven rang, 15 minutes. They look so pretty, not too coney. Nice and round.
That one is coney.
No, it's just the sugar on top. Oh my heck. Okay, so we still need to do our toothpick test. Get a toothpick, stick it right down the middle, pull it out, voila. So the toothpick is nice and clean. So we have our frosting, remember. I did add a tiny few drops of more milk because it was getting hard. So just make sure you watch that. I'm gonna practice a little bit right here, and then I'm just gonna drizzle over. Look at that.
Oh, they connect like crystal.
Oh, it doesn't matter if they connect or not.
Oh yeah, because that is not gonna be part of the muffin.
You can wait for it to cool down a little bit if you want. I did it really hot last time and it looked really pretty.
It's like coloring, but you still haven't cut it out yet. You'll still cut out little chunks.
Do you wanna try it, Liv?
Sure.
Okay. So we do want to let these cool, but I want to show you how easy they come out and how good they taste. So look, it just popped right out. You didn't need a muffin tin or a muffin liner, and look at that, gorgeous. Let's cut it in half. You want that half? I want this half. Look how nice. They're delicious. And they're actually really good the next day too. If you like muffins, cupcakes, everything like that, cake, to me, it's better the next day. The flavors just have more time to develop and mix together, and it's super good. So thanks for watching another episode of HalfPint Cooking, and I hope you make these at home. Don't forget to subscribe, share it with your friends. Let us know what you'd like us to make next. Bye.
Bye.
Pumpkins! Okay, where'd our scooper go? Shake. Okay, the least amount of possible. No, the sprayed one. See, that one's sprayed, that one's not.